Hey, hello, fellow old farts. How are you? Thanks for dropping in here today. We have a great show again. We're, of course, as you can see my screen here, we're all about talking about the meetup here. We're getting close and it's getting exciting. And we have had quite a few news of people that are going to be here. In fact, some people we weren't expecting are going to be here. And we're looking forward to welcoming all of you here. I hope some of you can, figure out how to make it. Just, now is the time. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring in a couple friends, a couple surprise guests today. One of which, of course, is Tom Dowling. Hi, Tom.
Hello,
Hello.
Bob. How are you? Everybody in
Good,
the
good.
chat, how you doing?
Good. We're doing great. We're doing really good. And then I also want to bring in here. I'm going to change my layout a little bit here because we want to bring here Dale Hilton of Blue Sky Drones.
How's
Yes.
everyone doing?
Hi,
Good,
Dale.
Dale.
Hey, I got an ad from you today. I got an ad on
ad?
Facebook from you. From Blue
Perfect.
Sky Drones today, and it told me that I could get a Neo in on September 27th.
September 27th.
Yeah, I got. Actually, I think maybe I didn't screen
I want to
capture.
know who you know, Bob.
Yeah. Yes.
I know that they're available October 8th for shipping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So nothing.
Even Bob, even Best Buy had put out that they were going to be available on the 27th, and then about an hour later, when you refresh the screen, they said begin shipping October 8th. So, and I know I believe B&H, the same thing happened with B&H. So, yeah. DJI is controlling.
Sure about that.
Yeah,
Wow.
DJI is controlling the distribution there. So, yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, good. So, Dale, what's new in Centralia today?
Well, the rain's starting to roll in, so I'm really looking forward to going somewhere nice and comfortably warm. Not 105 degrees warm.
No.
Like maybe in the mid 80s.
Oh, you're going to get probably the upper 70s.
Yes.
Okay, when you visit.
With me. I mean, that's still shorts and t-shirt weather.
Oh yeah, and sunshine, no doubt, sunshine, because we get about 320 some odd days of that, so
now
should be no problem there.
I think it's been 3 days since we've had 100 degrees.
Yeah, it was 61 degrees this morning.
You get like 100 days with 100 degrees?
Usually, yeah.
Well, yeah, right around now it's starting. Right around now, our seasonal high right around now is probably upper 90s. Maybe we would hit 100, but again, 100 degrees at 20% humidity really doesn't feel like 100 degrees. So, it's that's what we're dealing with. But now this morning, I had the doors and windows open this morning. It was 61 degrees this morning when I woke up. So good time to air out the house. But today we're right now we're sitting at 82 degrees, and we're going to go up maybe another 7 degrees today.
Well, if you can't tell, I'm wearing a hoodie, so
I saw
it's going to be all of 69 today, and we're in the 50s for the low.
Yeah, but Dale, I picked up a buddy from the Virgin Hotel. We don't go near the strip as locals. We only kidnap friends and family when they're visiting, right? And I picked up a buddy about 2 weeks ago at the Virgin, about 8 a.m. in the morning. It was 1:06, and he gets in the car, and I said to him, "Do you have a jacket or a sweater?" And he looks at me and he says, "Tom, you've been in the sun too long." I said, no, we're going to take a quick drive, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. We went up to Mount Charleston and Lee Canyon, and it was 64 degrees up there, an hour away. So, once we hit altitudes at around 8,000 feet, We got unbelievable temperatures up there. So, and we'll have
Yeah.
snow, right, Bob? We'll have snow on that peak. Probably the end of this month, going into October, we'll get some snow up there. And that's what's amazing about this area of the
I
country.
want to ask the chat, does all the audio and video look correct to you guys in the chat? Everybody looks okay there in the chat? Everything looks fine? Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm
Brian
not
comes
seeing
back and lets us
anybody's
know.
answer here.
Yeah, I don't think we have a problem. It's coming across okay over here, Bob.
Okay.
If I turn
It's
the audio
coming for
back
me.
on.
I know that, you know.
Yeah, Bob, it's coming through.
And
It's coming through YouTube. No problem.
I don't know if, you know what.
Yep. Brian said it looks good.
Okay. Well, good. Listen, I'm going to play this interview. Okay, we're gonna let's bring up the interview here. Tom and Vic Moss had a little bit of a conversation here earlier, and this was at the Commercial UAV Expo. And so, without further ado, let's see if this runs okay here. And like I say, I am having troubles with StreamYard, and I'm really not happy with StreamYard. So let's see what happens, and we'll talk about it when this is over. And let me know in the chat, you know, that everything you're seeing and hearing this okay. All right, here we go. And why? Okay. And it's not starting. It's starting. No, it's not starting. Here it is. It's this button here.
I'm out here with Vic Moss, Drone Server Provider Alliance, right?
Drone Service Provider Alliance, and
Alliance.
Drone Advocacy Alliance,
Okay.
the FAA safety team, and Moss
Exactly.
Photography,
And I believe in the sights of some congressional people, right?
and Chinese spy.
Are we being watched here? I've got to be careful.
No, because they're all Chinese cameras. And I reached out to my Chinese handler and said, I need to make sure you guys turn the cameras off for this, so it's not being recorded.
That's a great thing. Hey, you know, we're out here promoting the Vegas Drone Meetup. Okay, you're a sponsor. Really,
We are.
appreciate it.
DSPA is a sponsor. Very
why?
proud to.
Why are you guys a
Because I
sponsor?
believe in what y'all are doing. It's droning and that kind of thing can be a very isolating industry. And I'm talking, I know a lot of this is hobbyist, but I'm a commercial guy. And so if we can get the communities together, not only to have fun flying, but when you have situations where you need to get together and talk to an elected official, you need to get together and talk to a city council, you need to get together and talk to a whatever, community member, whatever, that doesn't like drones, it's a good idea to have a bunch of people together.
Yeah.
And it's a shared common interest. If it's a hobby, then it's a shared common hobby. And it's just a lot of fun. And I really believe in what you and Bob are doing with the group. It's fun to be part of it. I love telling people, hey, I'm an old fart with drones. I've got 2 hats.
Yeah.
And lots of stickers on my drone stuff.
So let me ask you something. We have some politicians coming out, and we want
Nice.
to put drones in their hands.
Awesome.
What do you think about that?
I would love to put them in their hands. I can think of a couple politicians I'd like to put it upside their head. But in all honesty, though, yeah, and giving a lot of what the politicians do comes from what's the word I'm looking for? It comes from an idea of arrogance. Or let me try that again. It comes from a realm of ignorance.
More so.
Not, ignorance can be a very pejorative word.
Yeah.
But ignorance also just happens to mean you don't know what you don't
Just
know.
don't know.
So they're coming at it from an ignorance aura, and once they understand what's going on, and once they understand that, hey, you know what, this isn't a big bad thing,
Right.
then that really helps as well. So getting it in their hands, I literally put out a call Monday night, public call on the Pilot Institute live feed, said, Miss Stefanik, I want to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your staffer, I spent an hour on the phone with her. She's got all my contact information. I'll do it again. Miss Stefanik, Congresswoman Stefanik, in all respect. I would love to talk with you about what you're trying to do and help you understand why it's much more harmful.
It is so important for them to understand who we are as a community, what we provide as a community. I know, speaking, basically with the Drone Advocacy Alliance, I've gotten in touch with all my legislators.
Nice. Thank you very much.
And not just sending an email. Make sure if you do send an email, templates are up online on the Drone Advocacy Alliance, but personalize it.
Absolutely.
Make sure it's coming from you.
Mhm.
How does this impact you? The other thing is, don't stop there. Make the calls, right? I agree with you 100%. Ignorance is not always evil. It's just the unknowing,
Mhm.
right? And I had the opportunity on numerous phone calls to educate,
Nice.
right?
That's
Each one
it's
teach
all
one.
about education. Absolutely.
And that's the important thing, is that they know you're their constituents.
Mhm.
Okay, you have the vote, so get out there, talk to them, and let them know that vote depends
Mhm.
on them having your best interest.
Right.
Right.
Right. I'm not a one subject voter, but that's a big subject. That's a
Yeah,
big subject.
it's
And
a
I
big
wouldn't
subject.
use that as a threat, by the way.
No, absolutely not.
Just use it as a, hey, by the way,
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
constituent and this is my concern, and I really would appreciate it. I remember it in election time, shall we say?
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. Vic, thanks so much.
Thank
man.
you. Thanks for what you
Appreciate
guys are
you.
doing here.
Appreciate your friendship.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Well, I wanted to let you guys know that Blue Skies is
All
also
right.
a member of
Tom,
DSPA.
Dale, you back on?
Yeah, Dale's talking right now. Go ahead, Dale. You were saying?
Yeah, I was just saying that Blue Skies is also a member of DSPA, and we support them.
That's great, because that's such an important organization, right? We know about drone. Those that are just enthusiasts, we know about Drone Advocacy Alliance, very important to
Yeah.
the whole community. But the Drone Service Providers Alliance is critical, because the majority of drone businesses are small businesses, and as a small business, right, Dale, you don't always have the voice that you need. And by getting together as an alliance, you have a lot more muscle. I mean, and plus, when things are happening in the industry, if you don't necessarily have your ear to the track at that time, at least somebody in that alliance does, and they can share that info, correct?
Absolutely. We try to get what information we can and share what we can amongst each other in terms of, especially policies and anything having to do with um, drones and the limitations of drones or changes in laws and whatnot, locally as well as around the country, not
Around the
just on the
country.
federal level and
Yep.
state level.
And
The
Dale,
state
there's
level
so
stuff a
many.
lot of times gets lost.
Right, yeah. I know Greg and Pilot Institute, they do a pretty good job getting that state information, or trying to compile that state information. But one thing that I especially being at Commercial UAV Expo, what most people don't realize, and definitely the enthusiast community doesn't, the hobbyist, is how many verticals there are in this industry, and what kind of product is available out there, and you
tons of
service that
yes.
community. Yeah, you service that community. Dale runs not just a sales group, but you also support all the equipment you sell, correct, Dale?
Yeah, we try to know everything that we can about everything that we sell, whether coming up with a variety of different angles. Like, I should say, like, we rent the drones. That's one thing. We rent some sensors for people who have surge demand and whatnot, or they just need a different drone or a different sensor.
Right.
But we try to know how to use that, and so that we can share that experience with the customers who maybe don't know it. We actually had a scenario this last week. Someone rented it in Nevada one. They didn't have. They're like, we're not familiar with DJI drones. They had no idea how to turn it on.
Wow. Yeah, and we take
So
that
we made
for
a little
granted,
quick
right?
Tech Tuesday tip of how to turn on a DJI drone.
That's great.
Nah.
That's
Made a
great.
little video.
And you talk about that, right? And now the Avata
Well,
got
listen,
announced,
if you
and
can
it's
hear
going to be
me-
released. Yeah, go ahead, Bob. Bob, can you hear us? Bob's been
I'm
plagued lately
delayed
with
now.
yeah.
No, I can't
Okay.
hear you at all.
So Bob, I was
So now
saying to
I'm
Dale
listening.
that yeah, you're going to listen
I'm
in,
listening on my phone.
but you got about a 10-second delay on that. So, Dale, one of the things
I'm
that
gonna log out here.
yeah, one of the
Yeah.
things that is happening is that release of the Neo. And it seems like that Neo is going to be a pretty big boost to the community because especially we're going to get a lot of newcomers coming in because I know, in the range, in the price point that Neo and the original Hover XL, that's about what these toy drones out there are being priced at today. That $200 range. And the big problem with those toy drones is they frustrate the heck out of people. Trying to launch these things is, so clunky and they don't really have a lot of support, past maybe a chat that gets back to you 2 days later. So these people become frustrated and then give up and leave it. And now with something like the DJI Neo, we know with that nameplate on it, you turn it on, it's going to fly for you. So I think that's going to be a huge boost. And that's going to grow our community, at least the hobbyist community, rapidly.
I think as an introductory drone, before you had the Tello at $99, which is kind of just a simple indoor thing. You had a Bluetooth, you took it up to the Gameser or something like that, some other Bluetooth controller.
Yeah,
it was okay. But at 199, let me back up. Then DJI had the Spark, right? That was still
the
in
original.
the $600 range, so it was still kind of
Right.
expensive, and it didn't fly very long. But DJI really pushed on the development and was able to create some really great products. And now they have the Neo at $199 for the drone. Now that doesn't come with a controller, as you know, it's just a one battery drone, and it's got the
It's a selfie drone.
follow me capabilities and selfie drone. You can hook it up to the mic 2, as I understand, for some recording. But the fact that that thing as is flies so well and for such a long period of time, really. And I watched Vic walk around with it, or Greg actually from Pilot Institute was doing the follow me, and we tried to confuse it. Like Vic, myself, and Greg tried to confuse it to on the follow me stuff, and it still knew where Greg was. And on top of that, it also went around their booth and like dodged the TV, went under the TV and around the poles, which was
without real obstacle avoidance. Okay,
just using the single onboard camera.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing because the other thing that I saw that was pretty amazing about it was the fact that I think it was Potato Jet had done something where it starts off in your own hand facing you, and when you started in one of those selfie modes, and then he jumped out of the frame, and his girlfriend jumped in the frame, and it didn't recognize her until he stepped back in the frame and picked them right back up again. So, for a $199 drone, the AI in this drone is pretty awesome, I would say.
I think it's good, but it's also something that's just showing you what is coming. So if the latest Air 3 whatever is coming out anytime soon, is it going to have some portion of that?
Well, see, that's the thing. If you look at the DJI Neo, it's got features that are reminiscent of the Mavic, of the Avata, okay? And that's something DJI does, right? They just keep building upon the technology. And there's been some concerns over the image quality. So when I was speaking to Billy Kyle, Billy said to me, hey, I think some of the complaints about the image quality can be solved in firmware, because he said that before he launched the drone, so when he had it up on his phone as the controller, the picture on the controller, he said, looked pretty nice. He said the second he launched it, it looked like the image degraded slightly. So, we're surmising from that there are things that they can do to increase the image quality. And we've seen what DJI has done with their sensor technology. I mean, now, of course, in the Neo, it's a half-inch sensor. You can only do so much. But what we've seen them do with a half-inch sensor, we've seen other manufacturers struggle even at an inch.
Yeah. Well, look at what all the cell phones are. They're those micro sensors too. So
Yeah,
they're making it move fast, and they're pushing a lot of data across that. Now, was Billy using like a RC2, or was he using a...
No, he was actually using his phone at the time.
Okay.
Just the phone.
Just the phone. Okay.
Yeah, just the phone. And that's something also, the flexibility this gives you. So, there's a lot of comparisons right now with the Hover XL, and that's the right price point to compare it to. And at the Hover XL, the original one, I think the Neo kind of blows it away. Now, when you start to talk about the XL Pro and the XL Pro Max, you're already up about, with the Pro Max, you're already up about a $900 price point. So, what the flexibility this gives you is the fact that, hey, for $199, I got a selfie drone. Okay. Now, if I want to add, and without even adding anything else, I want to use my phone with it. Now I have a drone I can control also with my phone, and I can actually customize a lot of those selfie features. Now, if I add a controller, now I get unbelievable range with it and a lot more control. And then if I want to add goggles, now I'm flying FPV-like. So that's the flexibility that this Neo has, that kind of, even the Pro XL, the XL Pro and the XL Pro Max, they don't give you that at this point.
Well, and as I understand it, you have the motion controller 2, or RC, is it RC3? Or the N1, RC3.
I think it's the RCN3, yeah.
And the RC2.
Which is the N2 with one battery. The N2 has 2 batteries normally, and the N3 has 1 battery. Is that right?
As far as you're talking about the controllers, Bob?
Yeah, the RCN3.
How many cells it has?
I don't know how long the battery lasts on that.
Yeah.
But that's basically, the equivalent where you can use your own phone, but then RC.
You can hear me okay, you guys, and I can see you guys okay now?
Can you hear us without delay, Bob?
Yes. Now
okay,
I'm
good.
Now
You're back
I'm on
sync.
Firefox.
There you go.
In the interim there, I downloaded Firefox and I installed Firefox, and I joined as a guest.
Well, here we know you're not the same Bob, because your screen says you're the Bob alternate. Okay.
Yes.
So don't scare your wife when she sees the Bob alternate. Okay. But yeah, we were talking about the Neo, and really, one of the things that I do have concern with the Neo and growing the community quickly is we know we're our own worst enemy, right? When it comes to, we're all judged by each other and the actions of each other. And that's why we all have to try to be good ambassadors and responsible with our drones. But, one thing that always plagues me is the fact that there isn't a giant sticker on the box or a big pamphlet inside that says, go to the FAA drone zone and learn how to fly responsibly. We have great groups like, Greg's group, right? And there are other groups out there, Remote Pilot 101, UAV Coach, I'm not thrilled with. But the thing is that we got to try to make sure that we help the beginners along and make sure they fly responsibly. Otherwise, it's going to be another congressional person that wants to put more constraints on how we can use and enjoy these drones.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I just added the StreamYard link here into the chat. So if anybody out there also wants to jump on or has something pertinent that we need to talk about, jump on, please. I think I now know what this is.
That kind of looks like a Neo case.
I got this months ago,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
has
that's
like
right.
a little pouch on the back, and then inside there's a zipper pocket on the inside, and then there's a strap. Where am I here? There's a strap for this. Um,
And it,
have you seen this before, Dale?
No,
I
it looks like a
I
landing
had
pad of sorts or something.
well, you know what it is.
no,
We first said when Bob, we got that at the NAB, right? We were with
right.
Regina from
Yes.
DJI, the head of marketing, and at first we thought, oh wow, DJI is branching out. Look, they're making purses to get into the venues because of the clear front.
Yes.
But then now, when you look at the Neo fits perfectly. Bob, I thought you were going to have like a cardboard cutout of the Neo in there for this go around, okay? But it really does look like it fits the Neo perfectly. And Bob, I believe, was it Start RC or another third-party manufacturer came out with a similar case for
Oh,
the Neo. So that's why I think it's the Neo case. Not that it's
okay.
included at $199, but no doubt it'll show up as an accessory at some point, and you can use your $1.75 credit you get with DJI to offset the cost. Okay.
I've been saving up my DJI credits, I have to tell
Oh
you.
boy, you
Yeah,
could get a
I'm at
battery then.
$55 right now.
Oh, you're good for a Neo battery right there. There you go. Oh no, you're good for DJI Care refresh for 2 years at that price.
And by the way, that Care Refresh for the Neo, it's $22 for the 1 year,
Yeah,
and it's $38,
$38. That's ridiculous. Yeah.
$16 more for 2 years, and you get 4 replacements and 2 flyaways in 2 years. I
Well, that is catering to the beginner market, okay, and to
Yeah.
promote a confidence level that hey, and that's the other thing with the Neo that I found interesting is there's a bunch of us that fly the Avatas, okay,
Yeah.
and I would say it's a small portion of that group that flies them manually. Now the Neo to me was a no-brainer. If I own the goggles V3 and I own an MC3 and maybe even the controller,
Yeah.
it's a no-brainer for me to pick up a Neo. Slip right in the bag, doesn't even take up much space. But the Neo also gives you the ability to learn how to fly in manual with a lot less risk than putting your Avata 2 into the game, right, Dale?
Which is now $500.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a technical flyer, right? I do a lot of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I'm commercial. I do a lot of stuff. I don't do a
Right.
lot of video or fun, but you know what? These DJI made the FPV, the lot of one, the Avata 2, now the Neo. And if I want to have fun, I grab one of those. I can go
Yeah.
drive down the road. Oh, I want to fly here, and then fly that location and have fun and enjoy flying up and down
It-
some rivers. It's fun. You feel like I don't know, add some youth to us.
Yes.
Well, it's the whole
Um,
reason Bob kind of started. I mean, first
Yeah.
as a goof, but it's kind of why Bob started the old farts, right?
Exactly.
You come into retirement, and again, I don't want to say that the old farts has an age requirement. Okay,
No.
you can these days you can qualify for an AARP card at 45. So, but it really comes down to the point that hey, this gives us something to do, gives us a sense of purpose, but also, a guy like me, I had open heart surgery several years back. I can't get a Class B for a Part 61 for manned aircraft because of that. And, hey, maybe flying manned aircraft isn't in my future anymore, but I still want the fun of it, right?
Right.
And you throw on a pair of goggles. That's why, for the naysayers about the Motion Controller 3, you do not fight a fighter jet like this. Okay, you fly like this, and that motion controller, no matter what disparaging names they've given it, that is an immersive tool. When you got those goggles on and the motion controller in your hand, right, Bob? That's as close as you're coming to the real thing.
Tom had to
And I
teach
suggested
me. I was doing
right?
this. I was trying to fly with it with the motion controller like this,
You got to use it like a sidewinder, the old joystick. And actually, what I told I was teaching someone to fly yesterday, and I said, set it right on you're sitting there. I said, first off, you need to lean up against something or sit down.
Yeah,
just at least the first time. Yeah.
And then if you set the motion controller on your knee and then move it like that, like it's attached to your knee. So you're not doing this, because that's what the habit is to go left to right like that.
Yeah.
As opposed to pushing, forward and
pushing forward or right to left. Yeah. And I think it was Bob. I think it was Scotty Make Stuff.
Yeah.
Had come out when the first motion controller came out. He basically came out with this little stick, and I think, Bob, I had you use it one time, where it goes into a holder, and it's got like a spring mount, and you can either strap it to your leg as you're sitting, or you can strap it to the arm of your lawn chair and fly it that way. Like you said, anybody who's flown Microsoft Simulator using a Thrustmaster or something like that, you'll take to that motion controller right away. And to me, it's fun. And yeah, Dale, I agree. If you don't know, most people will suffer from vertigo. So it's good those first few flights, you're seated or leaning against something. Okay? Because remember, we have a responsibility to maintain control over our aircraft. And if you take a header, you don't have control over your aircraft anymore. So, but it's fun as heck. But you said technical flying, and then don't mean to disparage you, Dale, but you said technical flying, but if I want to have fun, I take my Avata out. Do you know they're using that Avata and the Avata 2 in public safety environments?
I do, because the guy I was teaching yesterday was at LEO.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's the thing in public safety, whether it be law enforcement, fire service, EMS, is you take whatever tools you can and you adapt them to the needs that you have, right? New York City Fire Department, they had a parking garage that pancaked down in a collapse, and they went to send the very expensive Boston Dynamics dog in. He tripped and fell over on his side. So then they took their Avata with some firehouse lights on it and some small high lumen flashlights attached to it, and were able to fly into the collapse with that and identify, in these areas, there's no victims. In this area, there's a couple of victims. And you know what? Before we send people in harm's way, now we have a good idea where they are, and we don't face any unnecessary risk, right?
Well, I think the Neo, because it's still got the same kind of penetration and stuff on the remotes. I mean, it says it's got a 5 kilometer range, I think is what it said.
Yeah, with a controller.
And if you hook that up to even an DJI RC2, that they're used to looking at the screen and doing it that way, that's perfect. You don't even need the goggles and the handheld, but that is a perfect LEO.
It's a disposable.
Throw on a firehouse
light right there. Yeah.
Is that the Firehouse 5, Arc 5?
That's the latest, newest, smallest.
Are you hearing an echo from me?
Yes. Yeah, that's you. You got to put echo cancellation on in settings. It becomes a disposable drone, basically.
Yeah, $200 to replace it. That's within law enforcement's budget.
Yeah, that's a petty cash replacement there. Yeah, absolutely.
Unless
we're getting feedback off of you, Bob.
We get all banned.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's going to happen. Look.
There we go.
Good segue, Dale. Okay. If security were the real issue, Dale, would it take 5 years to implement? You know,
I mean, Vic might be talking to at least Stefanik if it was an issue.
right, exactly. And one of two things is going to happen. Depending on who gets into office on this next go around, this could all go away, or it can continue to be
Oh, it could be a problem.
aspirated.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that one of the things. Sorry, my wife is walking in and out of the house right now. Thank you. One of the things is that hopefully in a 5-year period, even though the deck is stacked, I still have concerns over certain U.S. companies being able to catch up. But over a 5-year period, I'm pretty sure DJI will have most of that technology licensed out. Okay, so because
So they could
today,
ban those shell companies too.
look,
I'm being a
and
pessimist here. I'm sorry.
but Dale,
We need an American
not-
shell company. Is
you're
what we
not far
need.
off. Well, that's who
Yes.
he was talking about, and by not naming them directly, okay. But the problem that you have with that is if that occurs, then there'll be a major outcry because in 5 years, the way this industry is growing, in 5 years, the economic impact of limiting what tools can be used will definitely have an impact all the way down to the consumer level. And I'm not talking about the hobbyist flyer. I'm talking about what things cost you in the end, because look at what the petrochemical and the power companies are doing and how much money they're saving as a result of using drones. Look at agriculture. I mean, Dale, you sell the fly cart, and no doubt you handle ag drones also. If you look at the market there and what is being saved in pesticides, what's being saved in overhead by these farmers, all of that, if it doesn't continue that way, well, the end result is price increases and trickle down to the rest of us, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you look at what anybody who's in the government right now, and both of them are all sides are saying tariffs, 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 which only hurts the end users on this side.
Yeah.
Yes.
The countries that have tariffs levied against them, that gets passed along to us, the end consumer. But what also happens is they turn around and do the same to U.S. made product, which limits the reach of U.S. made product. And again, that impacts here is the consumer. But we there's so much rhetoric, and it doesn't matter what side it comes from. There's so much rhetoric out there that you really, you can't watch one TV station today, and that's unfortunate. You can't watch Walter Cronkite anymore. And boy, am I dating myself, hey Bob? But
and
so
that's the way it is.
it's yeah, and we knew when he said that's the way it is, that's the way it was. But today, everybody's got an angle, and what we have to be careful of, we don't have that big of a voice today, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if we act as individuals. So we do have to gather as a community and have our voices heard, and because that's the only way we're going to get anything across. It's just it becomes scary because, Dale, I see something like the M30T as becoming a ubiquitous fire tool. And, in fact, talking, right, Bob, we were just talking to the boys up at Las Vegas Fire and Rescue, and they agreed with me. The M30T would probably be used more often than the Hearst Jaws of Life, okay, that they use for auto extrications, because there's more applications for the use of a drone, whether it's search and rescue, finding that lost elderly person that wanders off, okay,
like
trail, or okay, or the person who's caught in a riptide along a beachfront area, to watching firefighters operate on a smoky roof, to a junkyard fire. It just becomes that, and those are all applications you would never use the Jaws of Life, an extrication tool.
Correct. The Jaws of Life are going to be there to open a door, trunk, unwedge something. but the drone could
Extrication.
see if there's someone in the vehicle from a life safety aspect. We have law enforcement that have found criminals hiding in the briar bushes, and they're
Right.
like, they had a dog and they had the drone, but they're just like, hey, we know where you are. If we have to let this dog go, you are not going to be happy. So you
Right,
better get back
right.
out of here. Or we have drop-in rest tubes, self-inflatable life rescue
Rest
devices.
tubes. What a great device to couple with a drone.
Yeah. And quite frankly, we just did a video. It'll come out next week on using the rest tube, and we dropped it using a Mavic 3 with a $20 drop system off of
Drop
Amazon.
system. Yeah. Yeah.
And
In fact, the rest tubes are being used. The rest tubes are being used all along the Far Rockaways and Coney Island Beach and Brighton Beach in New York City. In fact, the New York City Fire Department has overtime programs, so they have enough drone flyers to be on the beaches. So where this has evolved from just a few years ago, Dale. So if we look at that, we know what's going to happen in the next few years, the dependence on these drones, and that's why you got to go to Drone Advocacy Alliance. Like I said in the interview with Vic, you got to go up there. There's templates up there, but just take the template, and reword. You don't have to reword the whole thing. Just look at it and customize it. How does this potentially impact you? Because if all they get is form letters, they discount those. But if you put in it how it impacts you, and as a hobbyist, if that's just like, hey, this got me off the couch, this got me back outside,
right.
Enjoying life, to, hey, I make a living doing this. And if you limit what tools I can use, well, it limits what potential I have as a business, and businesses pay taxes. Businesses hire people over time. The majority, right, Dale, would you agree? The majority of drone business today is small business, single operators, maybe two operators. But that's going to grow by leaps and bounds in a very short order.
Mm-hmm.
The stats I got from DJI is in the state of Nevada, and we're one of the smallest states of the United States, okay?
Well, least one of the least populated, we'll say.
Least populated states.
Yeah.
There's over 4,000 people involved in the drone industry in Nevada, dependent on DJI drones.
Yeah.
Over 4,000 people.
Yeah.
Right now in Nevada. I'm sure Washington State, Dale, is another number.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
But I mean it's crazy that they want to pull the rug out from 4,000 people in the state of Nevada.
Well, and here's the thing: is when you're looking at that number of 4,000 accounts, not 4,000 drones.
Right, exactly.
Because drone people, the average spend is $255 a month on their hobbies.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Could you not say that as loud so my wife doesn't hear that in the other room, Dale? Okay.
I posted that meme in the old farts group, so it seemed to get a lot of interest.
Yes.
Yeah, I would imagine. Well, it usually costs me a bit more because usually when I buy a drone, I also get saddled with buying certain fashion accessories. Okay, because there's always a payback to my significant other. So no doubt a new pair of shoes is being delivered from some company. Okay, I don't even check. What's funny is she says, "How do you know I just got a delivery?" Because the security system just barked at me, telling me you went out the front door, to pick up a package. Okay, so yeah, I think I should be licensed as an Amazon Depot at this point. Okay?
Oh, that's good. So listen, is anybody else out there? If you're out there, put it in the chat that you're waiting, because I have to leave what I'm being able to use here on Firefox And then because we started the program on Chrome, I got Chrome open on another window. But if I have the Chrome window open at the same time, I get this horrible echo here. So
Right.
let me know in the chat if
And
you've joined in the back room. Then I can go over and open it up on Chrome for a moment to add you to the conversation and then leave. So it's
well,
pretty bizarre.
StreamYard, Bob, StreamYard changed hands, you told me, just
StreamYard now is
recently,
owned by
right?
another company. Our
Yeah.
two young
Yeah.
guys that started StreamYard. I loved watching their show every Sunday. They took questions from users, and they had a 24/7 live chat.
Yeah.
So if you were having trouble with StreamYard, they had somebody that could help you. That it does no longer exist. And if you gave me a few minutes, which I don't really care, but I
No.
could tell you about the large corporate entity that purchased StreamYard from them. And
Well,
listen, I'm happy for those two young guys that created this.
yeah.
If they had the opportunity now to cash out, I would be, that I would probably do the same thing that they did.
Well, the problem, Bob, that you're highlighting is the fact that customer service and support is key. Okay.
Exactly.
Look, we all faced it when DJI first started, right? There were nothing but complaints. You look at them today, it's a world of difference. Dale, you provide customer service and support.
Yeah, Tom, I'm actually in my 11th year as in the drone industry. I actually started working for a company called Copter Shop, and DJI was our primary supplier. We tried to find other
Right.
products to deal with, and we did the Uniques, we did this 3DR Solo, but all the stuff was
Yeah.
really not that good quality. And when you're comparing it to a Phantom 2 series at that point in time, right?
Right.
And then we took most of our team and formed a little company called Autel Robotics USA, and our pride and joy was the customer service at that point.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
we have to have good customer service in the US. It was founded by, we had two ex-Amazon employees who were, that was their big thing: customer service, customer service, customer service. And I helped lead
Yeah.
those teams. But I mean, obviously we know that it's not quite the same as what it used to be. And DJI has really stepped up the game. If
Oh
you
yeah.
need to do the either DJI Care or Enterprise Care or any of that, your usual turnaround is less than 2 weeks, and that includes the shipping 2 ways to California.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Dale, I had an experience where I crashed my original Avata twice on the same day. It was pretty resilient. Okay. I had the Ken Dono's original Dobo, the rib riders on it, and I really smacked into a concrete wall, and it wound up like 40 feet away. And it was a 2-hour drive, and my wife looked at me and said, "Are we done?" I said, "No, I still got 3 batteries to go, and it looks like it's going to fly again." And I got 2 more batteries in before I smashed it into a steel pillar. When we got home, I got on the horn with DJI, and I had the cab refresh. I think they had called it Cab Refresh Express or something. And I said, here's the problem. They said, no problem. Send it in to us, and we'll replace it. It'll take a few days to get it here, and then once we evaluate it, we'll send you out a replacement. And then they said, well, if you want to put a hold on your credit card, and they said $300 hold on my credit card, they would ship one out immediately before they got mine back. And I said, well, okay, yeah, let's do that. I was fortunate enough to say okay to that. And it came 30 hours later, it arrived. And I didn't even send mine back yet. I took the box it came in and then put the pieces of my broken Avata into that and sent it back. And within 7 days, the hold was released on the credit card. I was amazed because I was back flying. 2 days later, I was back up in the air again. So I was simply amazed by their customer service.
It's
Yeah.
if I looked at the drone industry now, it's the best in the market, in terms of the customer service.
Yeah,
And that's why
yeah, I would have to say
everyone
so.
really likes using their products. They're
And that's by
have people had
design,
bad
Dale.
experiences? Absolutely. That's like with
It
anything.
happens.
Yeah, since
Yeah,
I'm
it
in this
happens.
weird position right now, I can't share my screen, but I have up because I was checking this out a couple days ago. I right now on Care Refresh for the Neo. Okay, it says uh, low cost replacements, flyaway, water, and collision coverage. 3-day average replacement time.
Yeah.
3-day average replacement time,
And that's in the
and
US.
free 2-way shipping for replacements.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
As we know, their facility is now in Cerritos, California, kind of thing. But that's unbelievable. I just don't, I mean, even Apple doesn't do that well.
You gotta basically, what it is, and where that really speaks to them is the fact that, yeah, they have the engineering down pat. They have, the build quality, the R&D, but customer service is that wedge of the pie that if it's not there, the rest of it can fall apart rather quickly. And what that also speaks to is the fact that, hey, you're a brand new beginner. You are going to make mistakes. Believe me, beginners, you're going to make mistakes because
Yes.
I've been flying since 2011. Okay. And man, I sometimes, you hear it. If you don't crash, you're not really trying. Okay. It happens, especially if you're trying to fly FPV and shoot gaps. It happens. But, now you can build in that confidence level that, hey, if something goes wrong, I can throw this in a box and ship it back to them and I'll get a replacement. And that's great. Or I can't see it flying. One of the things is they're smart about this with the flyaway coverage because flyaways are becoming almost non-existent. Okay. I
Yeah,
lost
Barkley
my
just
Air
said that
3.
in the chat.
Yeah. I lost my Air 3 up in the mountains in Kanab, Utah. And it wasn't because it flew away. It's because there was a bird flew it away. I must have flown near a predatory, bird nest. And, he took me
They
down up
decided
in the
to take.
hills.
Well,
Yeah.
let me throw
So,
this out here.
yeah.
The original Mavic Pro
Yeah.
was one of the hottest sellers of all drones when it came out in the fourth quarter or into third quarter when it came out. And that Christmas, how many people bought that drone? And you look at
That
what
was
the Neo is now,
2016. Yeah.
and how many people are going to buy that for Christmas?
Christmas time. I mean, it's just perfectly postured for record sales for Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, we bought 3 times the number of drones of Neos than we normally would have.
Wow.
Wow. That speaks a lot to.
Do you get a lot of walk-in traffic there, Dale?
We do get some walk-in traffic, locals, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like you saw our location. We're just kind of nondescript, so.
Yeah. No, I mean, we
but-
drove by it. Me and Lance passed it up twice before we realized, oh, that's it right there. We didn't see your sign fast enough, But yeah, no, it's if you're in the Washington State area, let me tell you that I had such a good time there.
So, Dale, I got a question for you, real quick. Dale, if you think we attached a lawn chair to the top of the fly cart, we could get Bob up. I'm pretty sure. Okay, we were trying to get Bob up with
anything
balloons.
on top. We'd have to pull him up from the bottom.
You think we'd have to suspend it from the bottom?
About an 88-pound limit.
No,
we put him in a bosun's. We put him in a bosun's chair and swing him from underneath. Yeah.
Well, I tried. My daughter's like 82 pounds, and I tried to ask her if we could throw a helmet and some Kevlar, unisuit on her and pull her up. She wasn't going to go for it.
No, she wouldn't go for it. What I was amazed with was the length of Bob's arm. Okay, is the length of one side of that prop. I mean, it's like, holy cow. Yeah, that's some beast. That is some beast. That's
It
great.
is.
Hey, I did want to share,
Well,
if it's okay, Bob. When we have, you had mentioned, Tom had mentioned that, including information about trust for Part 107. Well, when we have customers come in, we actually have a one sheet that's front and a back. That front side's trust information, back side's just like kind of
Right.
intro. What is Part 107?
Right.
So I had a link. It's in our knowledge base, and I was just going to post it in
That's
the group.
great.
You're all right with that?
That's great. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. And we really need that help too, because
And it's
we
it's
got
just
to
a
keep our
resource,
community. Yeah,
including
that's
like
what.
taking the trust test at Pilot Institute.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Dale, that segues into our Vegas drone meetup, right? I mean,
Mhm.
getting people together. There's a lot of people, right, Bob? We know that bought drones recently and they're afraid to fly them. They want to
Yes.
know, is anybody getting together,
Yes. And
that
we
can
just
maybe help them out?
we had this conversation today. DJI is bringing multiple people to help people fly drones or to answer questions about their own drone or to just be there to chit chat, whatever. So it's that this is we're actually looking. We want people, if you're just interested in flying drones, I mean, please come. You're gonna have a world of opportunity here to fly a drone, even if you don't own a drone. Well, we're going to make available. There'll be some drones out there that you can take off in, and you
Well,
will have
we plan on putting drones in politicians' hands. I mean,
yes,
look, Bob and I don't mind being crack dealers when it comes to drones, okay? But we'll give you that taste, okay? Because you said something before, Dale, what people are spending on average per month. How many of us have a complete Air Force at our disposal now? I mean, if I open up the closet, okay, I probably have 5 different drones at this point, all still registered to fly, not counting the
no-
ones I let the registration lapse on.
Yeah, well, knowing now that you could probably hack the drone and make it the battery management system overload the battery, you definitely have an Air Force at your hands.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Dale, Bob, is one of our sponsors for the Vegas Drone Meetup.
Dale is a major sponsor of
Yeah.
the Vegas Drone Meetup here,
And thank you for that, Dale.
we are going to see just some really great things here from all of these sponsors, and I know Dale's coming, and he's probably bringing some gifts for everyone.
We'll have a
know?
few things to give away.
Yes,
Might
yes.
even see one of those coveted cozies.
Oh boy.
My cozy is down on another table, but it's a very cute cozy. Looks
Oh yeah,
like a
I have one.
safety vest. Yes.
Yeah, it's on my
yeah.
water bottle. Yeah, my wife is like, what construction work is happening in our kitchen? And, because my water bottle has a little safety vest on it.
Yes.
Okay. But look, we have the meetup coming up. It's coming up really soon, November 8th, 9th, and 10th. And folks, get registered. And if you're traveling into the Vegas area, and if you're traveling into the Vegas area, you need some place to stay. We got a group rate at this beautiful resort that we're centralizing our meetup at. And if you're in the Vegas area, if you're local, hey, what about a staycation? Okay. Bob is staying at the hotel. I'll be staying at the hotel. We got friends and influencers coming in that are staying there. DJI is staying at the hotel. Dale, no doubt you need some place to stay.
He's
We're
so,
there.
and we're finding a Thai restaurant for him and his wife because it's their anniversary.
No problem.
Oh no, it's her birthday.
Her birthday.
She's hitting a pretty good milestone.
Okay.
Good.
Oh,
well,
boy.
good excuse to visit Vegas. See, then we gave people excuses to come visit Vegas. Look at that.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to whatever Thai restaurant your wife finds me, Bob.
Oh, we got
there's
multiple.
And not the
Dale,
touristy
this
one.
is
She
a
already told me she's not
no,
taking us to any touristy one.
no. This is a foodie city, okay? And I come from New York City, right? That's supposed to be the city that never sleeps. No, this is actually the city that never sleeps. And as far as food choices, one of the problems my wife and I have is here's how the conversation goes. I go, "Hey, sweetie, where do you want to go eat?" And then she turns to me and goes, "Oh, where do you want to go eat?" And that could last a good half hour, okay? Because there's nothing but choices here. So you're going to have a
Till you're
great time
hangry.
here, Dale.
Yeah.
No, that's not. I have to worry about her. I do all the cooking at home, coming from fire service. I do the cooking.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yes,
I'm a foodie. I've spent a lot of different trade shows within the city, including CES multiple times.
yeah.
I actually had one. The last time I did the hotel booth for CES, I was there for 21 days straight in Las Vegas, and so I had to find a lot of different places to eat. But I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, we've just this last time down there for commercial UAV, we made a decision to go try a place to eat. It's called Chubby Cattle, and it's
Chubby cattle.
all you can eat Wagyu Japanese barbecue, and that topped our restaurant favorites.
And
It's not too expensive, but it's still really good.
when you get off the strip, like we're going to be off the strip, okay? We'll be in Henderson, so it's only 20 minutes from the airport and 25 from the strip. But off the strip, you got to see the difference in pricing. And the other thing, the casino, okay? So when you're on the strip gambling, okay, if you gamble, even on the penny slots, if you gamble on the strip, they are reaching in as deep as they can into your pocket, okay? Because they figure you're not going to be back for another year or so. And by that time, you've forgotten. For us locals, like one of my stomping grounds is the Green Valley Ranch Resort and Casino, because we go see movies there. They got food court. They got 6 different restaurants. And the casino pays a lot better, and they give us stuff constantly because as locals, they want us back every week. Okay, so those slots we say are a
Percentages
bit
are different.
looser. Yeah, they're a bit looser. So, and that's what you have off the strip. And believe me, when it comes to competing with the on-strip casinos, Green Valley Ranch is world class. I mean, there's no wanting for
You won't
any
be
kind of
missing
machine.
anything.
You got everything there, and
Yes.
table games and everything else. And then it's inside this shopping area called the District, which again is all restaurants, bars, and
High-end clothing stores for the
high-end clothing
ladies,
stores. Yes,
and
Yeah.
and REI is in the district. If you're interested in your outdoor equipment and
outdoor
tents and
equipment. Yeah, there's a
all
big
that
one,
stuff,
Shake Shack, right on the corner across the street from
one of the best
REI.
REI stores in the country.
Yeah, and then you
is
have
right
some of
there.
the chains also. Like Cheesecake Factory is there.
Yeah,
There's a bunch of different
Whole
places,
Foods
and
is there.
yeah, and we're
Yeah.
going that Friday night. We got a little get together right there in the District. So if you're
Right.
staying at the hotel,
Parkway Tavern now.
the Parkway Tavern, there's no
What we
reason.
announced earlier was Richie McNeely's, which is an Irish pub, which
It just got
currently is gone. Richie McNeely's now turned into a high-end steakhouse that Tom
Right.
got the pleasure of spending some money at, and
Yeah.
it's not where we want to be. Okay.
No, we'll be right next door, so there's really no change in venue. We're right next door at the Parkway Tavern, which is a big open place and outdoor
Beautiful
seating
place.
as well, and a great place for a get together. And I think about 40 different beers. About 20 of those on tap. So if you're a beer connoisseur or want a good flight of beers, it's a great place. Yeah, Dale.
8 hours, bottled to throttle.
Yeah, that's
There
right.
you go.
That's right. That's right.
Well, that's why we're doing it Friday night, okay?
It's early
And also,
Friday too. We're going to do 4 to 7,
Yeah.
and from 4 to 6 is happy hour.
right.
So
And when we go out to our flying location on Saturday at Cornerstone Park, that is one of the things, because Henderson, who City of Henderson, who is also one of our sponsors, they wanted to know whether we were going to have beer or wine that day, and we gave them a resounding no. Okay, because those two things don't mix with flying drones. So the food trucks will not have alcoholic beverages, folks. Okay,
Yeah.
but we'll have food trucks there to satisfy your thirst and
yes,
your cravings. But
and
so it's going to turn out to be a great event.
DSPA is sponsoring the food trucks we will have multiple coupons that you can purchase food at the food trucks with, and that's sponsored by DSPA, by Vic Moss and Kenji and a whole group over there. They wanted to do something impactful for the meetup, so that was what they've decided to do.
I know Vic's going to be down there. Is Kenji going to be down there too?
We think so.
Not sure. I think so. It depends. Kenji was checking his schedule because he wants to make it. You know, Kenji's one of those guys always looking for an excuse to come to Vegas. So it's high likely that we'll see Kenji there. You know, and we have some other friends coming. We got Eddie Nunez coming, Billy Kyle's coming, Ken Dono's coming. Aldrin, I think, right, Bob? Aldrin is going to come up from San Diego. Yep. We're reaching out to Potato Jet to see if him and his significant other want to take a roll into town. So it should be good. Bob, did we get in touch with Sean Oz yet? I think one of us has to reach out to Sean. Good.
Talking to Sean Oz.
Maybe we'll get Sean. Maybe we'll get Sean to set up a tattoo booth while he's at it. Okay,
you could get your Vegas drone meetup tattoo.
Okay.
Yeah,
your first annual. Yeah, your first annual.
It looks like just like what you have on the microphone. Yeah, like that.
Yeah,
there we go. There we go. Well, you know what? These will be in your gift bag as well. So there you go. Yep.
Yeah,
should be good.
All right.
So, Bob, you've been on for over an hour now.
Yeah, I think we're ready. Thanks, Dale. I appreciate you coming out. Anything you'd like to say goodnight here?
Just excited to look forward to the nice weather down there and some pleasant company and to maybe fly for fun.
Yay!
It's always good to fly for fun.
There's going to be a lot of places to fly for fun. Okay.
If you're a commercial flyer and you get burnt out from flying, well, fly for fun sometimes.
Yes.
And it adds something back into the mix. And Dale, really looking forward for you to be down here. Really looking forward to get together and, appreciate you. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you all. It's going to take me a little maneuvering to get this to end the show because I'm signed into a different account. And don't worry, I'll figure it out. But I want to thank you all for taking the time here.
Peace and love.
Okay. All right, brothers. Thank you. Let me see if I can make this happen here. All right, now I got to go up to here.
This is starting to feel like a Ken Dono show right now.
Oh, God, it's...
Okay, you'll be on, but poor Bob will be on 5 minutes past the show ending.
It's a freaking mess here. Now I got the echo. Now I got the echoes, and now there's multiple Bobs.
Well, look at that. Now there's a reason for the echo.
And now
I don't want to be the cream in the middle, Bob. So I'm going to drop off. Okay.
Okay. There you go.
And we'll talk soon, buddy. Everybody, take care, all.
All right.